Evolution is supposed to be logical. Traits improve, species adapt, survival gets easier over time. And yet, nothing about evolution actually behaves that way. Nature wastes resources, builds inefficient designs, repeats mistakes, and keeps traits that seem actively harmful. From animals that risk death to reproduce, to bodies patched together like broken machines, evolution looks less like intelligent progress and more like a series of desperate improvisations. So why does evolution work at all, if so much of it makes no sense? Evolution was never designed to be logical. One of the biggest mistakes people make when thinking about evolution is assuming it operates with intention. We imagine evolution as a process that wants improvement, efficiency, or optimization. But evolution doesn't plan, reason, or aim for perfection. Evolution is blind. It has no foresight and no end goal. Natural selection doesn't ask whether a trait is elegant, efficient, or even sensible. It only asks one question. Did this trait allow the organism to survive long enough to reproduce? If the answer is yes, even barely, then the trait stays. It doesn't matter if it causes pain, inefficiency, or long-term problems. As long as reproduction happens, evolution moves on. This explains why evolution often looks illogical. Logic requires intention. Evolution has none. It works through random variation filtered by survival, not by intelligence or design. Evolution doesn't optimize. If evolution were logical, organisms would be built from scratch, optimized for their environments. Instead, life looks like it was assembled through constant patchwork. Evolution doesn't redesign, it modifies what already exists. That's why whales still have vestigial hip bones, even though they no longer have legs. That's why humans have a spine adapted for four-legged movement, awkwardly repurposed for walking upright, leading to chronic back pain. These aren't optimal solutions, they're compromises. Evolution can't erase the past. It can only tweak it. Every new trait must work on top of existing structures, no matter how inefficient those structures are. Over millions of years, this creates organisms that function, but in ways that often seem absurdly impractical. Pain, suffering, and death are not bugs. Logically, pain and suffering seem pointless. Why would evolution favor traits that cause discomfort or risk death? Because pain works. Pain discourages harmful behavior. Fear keeps organisms alert. Stress increases short-term survival. Evolution doesn't care about comfort. It cares about outcomes. Consider childbirth in humans. It is unusually painful and dangerous compared to other mammals. From a logical design perspective, this is a failure. But evolution allowed it because the benefits, larger brains and complex cognition, outweighed the risks. Evolution accepts suffering if it produces results. It doesn't minimize pain. It tolerates it. Evolution rewards good enough, not best. One of the least intuitive aspects of evolution is that being better doesn't matter if you are already surviving. If an organism reproduces successfully, there is no pressure to improve further. Even if a better solution exists, evolution won't reach it unless the current one fails. This is why evolution often settles for good enough solutions. Wings that are fragile, eyes with blind spots, immune systems that overreact and cause autoimmune diseases. These flaws persist because they don't prevent reproduction. Logic would eliminate them. Evolution ignores them. Sexual selection makes even less sense. If survival-based evolution is strange, sexual selection is downright irrational. Traits favored by sexual attraction often reduce survival. Bright feathers make animals visible to predators. Loud calls attract enemies. Oversized antlers require massive energy and increase injury risk. Why do these traits exist? Because mating success matters more than survival length. If a trait increases the chance of reproduction, even at the cost of survival, it spreads. Evolution doesn't prioritize longevity. It prioritizes passing genes forward. This leads to bizarre outcomes where organisms evolve traits that actively endanger them, all because those traits signal attractiveness. From a logical standpoint, this is madness. From an evolutionary standpoint, it's completely normal. Evolution builds systems that actively work against themselves. Many evolved systems are internally contradictory. The human immune system is designed to protect us, yet it can attack our own bodies. The stress response saves lives in emergencies, yet chronic stress destroys health. Appetite mechanisms evolve for scarcity, yet in abundance they lead to obesity and disease. These systems evolved under conditions that no longer exist. Evolution doesn't update itself when environments change rapidly. It reacts slowly, over generations. Modern humans live in worlds radically different from those that shaped our biology, exposing how mismatched and illogical many evolved traits truly are. Random mutations are the engine. Another uncomfortable truth: evolution runs on randomness. Mutations occur without purpose. Most are neutral or harmful. A tiny fraction happen to be useful in a given environment. Natural selection then filters these changes, not because they are good, but because they work better than alternatives. There is no quality control, no blueprint, no correction for inefficiency. This randomness is why evolution produces strange, uneven outcomes. Some traits become incredibly refined. Others remain clumsy and flawed. Logic implies consistency. Evolution produces chaos that occasionally stabilizes. Extinction proves evolution doesn't get it right. If evolution were logical, successful designs would persist indefinitely. Instead, over 99% of species that ever lived are extinct. Evolution doesn't preserve success. It tests constantly. A species can be perfectly adapted to its environment and still vanish when conditions change. Dinosaurs dominated Earth for millions of years, yet disappeared rapidly when circumstances shifted. Evolution doesn't reward dominance. It punishes inflexibility. This constant cycle of emergence and extinction reveals that evolution isn't moving toward improvement. It's reacting moment by moment, indifferent to legacy. Humans are not the goal of evolution. Perhaps the most illogical assumption is the idea that humans are the endpoint of evolution. We aren't. Evolution has no direction. Humans are not more evolved than bacteria, sharks, or insects. Many organisms have remained relatively unchanged for hundreds of millions of years because they already fit their niches extremely well. Humans simply occupy a niche shaped by intelligence, social cooperation, and tool use. That niche could disappear. Evolution would continue without us. Logic seeks hierarchy and progress. Evolution doesn't. Why evolution looks designed? Despite all this irrationality, evolution often appears designed. Complex organs function seamlessly. Ecosystems balance themselves. Life adapts in astonishing ways. This illusion of design emerges because selection filters chaos. Anything that doesn't work disappears. What remains looks intentional, even though it arose from randomness and pressure. It's survivorship bias on a planetary scale. We only see the versions that made it. The countless failures are gone. The uncomfortable conclusion: nothing about evolution is logical in the way humans define logic. It doesn't plan. It doesn't optimize. It doesn't care about fairness, comfort, or beauty. Evolution is a process of relentless trial and error, driven by chance and filtered by survival. It produces systems that work, not because they make sense, but because they persist. And that's why evolution is both deeply unsettling and profoundly powerful. It reminds us that life doesn't need logic to exist. It only needs to continue.